The sun climbed high over the rolling hills of the Ozarks, casting long, golden shadows across a modest homestead where Jed Clampett stood, his weathered hands gripping a long-barreled rifle. Jed was a man of the earth, a mountaineer whose life was defined by the rhythm of the seasons and the simple necessity of providing for his kin. On this particular morning, the air was crisp, and the silence of the wilderness was broken only by the sharp, rhythmic crack of his rifle as he aimed at a patch of brush, hoping to secure enough for the evening meal. Fate, however, had a different plan in store for the humble man. As the bullet struck the earth, it did not reveal game, but instead triggered a strange, thick, black liquid that surged upward with surprising force. It was a fountain of dark, viscous wealth, an accidental discovery of crude oil that would forever alter the trajectory of the Clampett family. To those who knew the land, it was black gold, the kind of Texas tea that turns a pauper into a man of immense means overnight. The news spread with the speed of a mountain gale, and before the sun had set, the simple mountaineer found himself a millionaire. His kinfolk, gathered around the bubbling treasure, shared a look of bewildered excitement. The word came down from the elders that Jed could no longer remain rooted to the soil of his ancestors. California, they insisted, was the place where a man of his new stature truly belonged, a land of promise and prestige. Without hesitation, they gathered their belongings, loaded up their sturdy truck, and began the long journey toward Beverly Hills. They arrived in a place of swimming pools and glittering movie stars, a world so far removed from their quiet hills that it felt like another planet. They were the Beverly Hillbillies, a family of honest, unpretentious souls thrust into the heart of a city obsessed with image, status, and the frantic pursuit of the spotlight. In the bustling office of a young, self-proclaimed genius agent named Jethro, the atmosphere was thick with the pretense of Hollywood success. Jethro, adorned in an expensive outfit he called Edwardian, despite knowing nothing of the man named Ed, paced his office with the frantic energy of a man trying to convince the world he was something he was not. He spoke of his entourage of stooges, flunkies, and chauffeurs as if they were the architects of his rise to power, all while ignoring the absurdity of his surroundings. His uncle, the soft-spoken Jed, stood by with a quiet grace, watching the frantic display with a mix of curiosity and amusement. Granny, ever the pragmatist, remained the anchor of the family, focused on her own projects, whether it be trimming hair, mending chairs, or concocting her homemade scalp stimulator, a potent brew that promised results, even if it did sting the senses. The conflict of worlds was inevitable. Jethro, desperate to maintain his image as a world-famous celebrity agent, found the presence of his kin to be an inconvenience to his carefully crafted facade. He fretted over how his entourage would perceive the sight of his own family living with such humble simplicity in the middle of a grand mansion. Yet, Granny was unmoved by his concerns. She continued her work with a steady hand, treating everything from haircuts to dental extractions with the same rustic efficiency she had employed back in the hills. She was a healer of the old school, a woman who believed in the power of turpentine and common sense. When Jethro spoke of his supposed connections to the elite of Hollywood, of exclusive contracts with the likes of Julie Andrews, it was clear that he was living in a world of his own invention, one fueled by hubris and the desire for recognition. The situation reached a turning point when Mr. Drysdale, the man who managed their vast fortune at the bank, arrived on the scene. He was a man of business, a man who saw the world through the lens of profit and loss, yet he found himself constantly baffled by the Clampetts. When Jethro's antics threatened to push his bank to the brink of patience, Drysdale saw an opportunity to bring order to the chaos. He proposed that Jed take over the lease of an entire floor in his bank building, envisioning a business enterprise that would give the mountaineer a sense of purpose and, more importantly, bring him into the mainstream of the American economy. Jed, ever willing to try something new, agreed to the notion, envisioning a place where he could be busy and contribute, while Granny saw the perfect venue for her long-held dream of running a combination barbershop, dental clinic, and medical office. As the family transitioned into their new role as business owners, the office of the Jed Clampett Enterprises blossomed into a place of peculiar wonders. With signs boasting of free kittens and puppies for every procedure, they attracted the attention of the city. Mr. Drysdale, despite his initial reservations, soon found himself navigating the strange, heartwarming, and often humorous reality of his new tenants. He saw the genuine, albeit rustic, kindness of the Clampetts as they attempted to provide care to the bank employees, an act that was, in its own way, a revolutionary approach to worker benefits. Though the world of Hollywood looked upon them with confusion, and the status seekers were quick to scoff, the Clampetts remained true to themselves. They moved through the city with an integrity that could not be shaken by the pressures of wealth or the expectations of society. The journey of the Clampetts was not merely a story of rags to riches, but a testament to the enduring strength of family and the importance of holding onto one's values in a world that often prizes the superficial. As the days turned into weeks, the fifth floor of the bank building became a hub of genuine human connection. Whether it was Ellie Mae sharing her love for critters or Granny perfecting her dental techniques, they brought a piece of their home to the heart of the city. In the end, it was not the wealth, the fame, or the prestige that defined their time in Beverly Hills, but the simple, honest humanity they offered to everyone they encountered. They taught those around them that success is not found in the labels one wears or the status one claims, but in the sincerity of the heart and the warmth of a life lived with purpose. The story of Jed and his kin would forever remain a charming reminder that, no matter where one goes, the roots of one's spirit always remain, and that a little bit of hospitality can transform even the coldest of concrete landscapes into a place where anyone might feel at home. As they looked out over the sprawling city, they knew that their adventure was far from over, and that as long as they had each other, they would always be the masters of their own destiny, grounded by the memories of the hills and fueled by the promise of the days to come.